And it was through him that at the end of 99, December, like right at New Year's, is his best friend was John Phoenix. And they were booked against each other. And that's where I met John. Actually, I met John's now wife of, a million years. I met her first because I was hitting on her. And she reminds me of that every time I talk to her,
Never lets it go.
which is frequent. Yeah, which is, but uh, I met John, and John and I mean, instant chemistry. I mean, we just clicked immediately. Just similar personalities, similar, we laughed at a lot of the same things, which is probably not appropriate. Uh, but we just got along immediately. And he, at the time, was at Wildside. And so he always told me, like, bear with me. We're going to get you in Wildside. I think you could blossom there. Okay. And sure enough, he got me on in summer of 2000. They were running like a house show because Wildside would run TV's first and third Saturday of every month in Cornelia. And then the off weeks, they would try to fill it in. And they were running one of their house shows in Athens. And he said, "Hey, got a spot for you." And he got me on, and I worked a bunch of. So at the time, Rick was running the school at Wildside, and he had a bunch of young guys around my age. We're talking 15, 16, 17 that were breaking in too. So they threw me in the ring with them, and it worked. And they said, "Well, we also run the Friday night shows where like it was little to no pay, but it put your name on the board. It kind of got you, kind of got you at least noticed enough to where if they needed guys for the TV, they know you, they could use you. They know you're reliable. They know what you can do." And then just, I think I started regularly at the Friday night shows in November of 2000. And I never looked back.
That's interesting because that is something that a lot of times people have to do. And there are some who take advantage of it too, but sometimes you just need to get seen and show that you're
Yes.
committed. And there are those who will take advantage of that, especially, there's some promoters in the past who have been very, oh, I'll get you next time, kid. But,
Absolutely.
but in general, sometimes you gotta spend money to make money, so to speak, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not one of those things where I was never lied to. I was never once told like, "Hey, start here and we'll get you, $80 a night or whatever." Yeah, they were always upfront with the money and everything. Like, "Hey, you're not getting paid in dollars. The trade off is you're getting exposure." And because Bill Barons was running Wildside, and the whole thing was like, "I'm not going to pay you here in Cornelia, but when outside bookings come, I can get you on those and get you paid."
Mm-hmm.
And it was understood. So I can't tell you how many $20 nights I got from Wildside, but they never came as a shock. Like there were definitely nights I wish I would have got a couple more dollars, but I knew what I was getting into. But like at the same time, I was when I was there when I started there, it was a WCW developmental ground. So like I'll never forget it. I don't know if you know the building in Cornelia, but it's the most rinky dinky, run down. You would never suspect this place to ever hold a human being, much less pro wrestling every other week. There's so many names that have come through the doors of that building. And you couldn't find it on a map if it was circled and highlighted. It's just But it's also like it's they nicknamed it years later the Church of Southern Wrestling, which is about as apropos as it gets. I mean, but like, so the first time I get to the building in Cornelia, you've got to walk up these rickety steps that were probably built by, Farmer Ted in 18 Oct 5. Like he just this is a safety violation in every way. I walk up these stairs to the back, and the first person I run into is Bob Sapp,
Oh wow.
who's sitting down in a chair and still looking down to see me because he's just a gigantic man. I was just like, oh, this is a different world. But like, I mean, it was a WCW developmental, so that was like, that's part of my master plan coming into play, right? Like, I'll get on at Wildside, I'll get noticed by WCW, blah blah blah. I beat Rey Mysterio for the cruiserweight title. It's foolproof plan.
It sounds like beating Rey Mysterio for a title might still be your plan to this day.
It's 100%. Like, that's the one, like, that king of the bucket list right there. I got to beat Rey for something.